Right, hello everybody, welcome down to La Cala Golf Resort. I'm Matt Fryer, and in today's lesson we're going to be looking at 3 shots that if you've got these in the locker, you're going to be able to get around any golf course in the world. So let's take a look at that lesson now. If this is your first time visiting the channel, guys, as well, don't forget to hit that subscriber button down below. Also turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss any future lessons to help you improve your game. Okay, so the 3 shots that we're talking about are going to be ones that were in and around the green, and the first one of these shots is the chip and run. So the chip and run is a shot that's basically running along the floor for the majority of the time and only spends a little bit of time flighted through the air. So to do that, what we need to do is select a club with a little less loft on it. So for myself, I've gone for an 8-iron. And the reason for playing this shot, as you can see here now, I'm faced with something where I'm 4 or 5 yards off the front of the green. It's not too bad a lie, but if I were to putt it, I'm not quite sure how the ball's going to react in and among this grass. But the flag is right at the back now, so there's a lot of green to cover before I actually get up to the stick. So what I would do, instead of going for something where I try and throw it all the way where I have to be very precise, and if I don't quite get the strike I want, I would see that it would pull up short, it wouldn't get there, and it wouldn't be too much of a bad shot, but because of what I've selected, it would look like I've made a huge error and I've really cost myself a shot there. Instead of where, if I opt for something like this, where I go for a shot where it's spending the majority of the time along the ground now, even if I don't quite get my strike, it's still probably going to get up there within that holeable putt range, sort of the 6 foot and in putt. So what we want to do when playing these chip and run shots is select a club with a little less loft on it, i.e. an 8-iron or a 7-iron. We're then going to adopt our stance where we narrow down our stance and we're going to stand a little bit more upright as opposed to taking our normal stance for an iron. We get a little bit more upright, the ball goes into the center of our stance, and then we lean 70% of our weight towards the target. And what we're looking for is a bit more like the putter stroke. We see that we just rock the arms and it works out towards the flag. What we then want to do, and I like to classify it as it's sort of running 70% of the way, flying 30% of the way when I generally play these. I'll pick a landing zone about 30% down this target here. So for me, that's going to be about 10, 11, 12 feet onto the green now. And I'm going to punch the ball forward, see that it lands, and it'll run out towards the flag. So let's give that a go. I've gone for a less lofted club, and I'm going to pop it towards my landing spot and see that it runs out towards the flag. So I just pulled up a little bit quickly, just bit on its first bite, but it's actually not too bad. It's only about 6 feet away. I'm just going to play one more. I'm looking for something where I know it's going to be running the majority of the time. I just punch it out and see that it rolls like my putt, and what I can do is, if you get really into it, you'll start to have a look at where the green's breaking and treat it very much like a putt. So weight towards the target, that smaller stance, and see there that we pop it out a bit more and it just runs out towards the target there. If I were to misstrike it, it probably wouldn't get up there. Let's have a look at shot number 2 now that you need to get round any golf course. Okay, so shot number 2 here. This is a bit more of a pitch shot. So what we're going to do is select a slightly more lofted club now, maybe your pitching wedge or maybe your gap wedge like I like to play mine with. And the reason for playing this shot, as you can see, I'm faced with a bunker here, so if I were trying to play that chip and run shot, I'd probably catch the face of the bunker. And also, in between me and the flag, there's a tiny bit of a swale. It goes up and then it goes down. So to about 50% of the journey here, I'm not too sure of how the ball would react if I landed it on that terrain. So what I need to do is throw it halfway along, get the bunker out of play and get this slope out of play, take a little bite, and then it would release out towards the flag. Like I say, if I went for something where I'm trying to throw it all the way again, my margin for error isn't very high. And also here, I haven't got the terrain to land it with my chip and run shot. I'm pretty much a similar distance, but the situation's changed because of what's in front of me now. So for this, like I say, we're going to go for a more lofted club. I've gone for that 52-degree wedge. And again, it's the same principle. I'm going to be a slightly smaller stance, weight leaning towards the target, and because I've selected loft, I don't need to try and help it up. So that weight I put into my front foot, I'm going to try and keep it there and let the loft of the club do the job. Again, once I've chosen my spot I want to land it on, like I said, 50-50, I have a pick of that, see where it is, and then just pull the trigger nice and smooth. It's taken the slope out of play and it's run up to a couple of feet there. So quite a simple, easy shot. I see a lot of people overcomplicating these and trying to do too much, but very much like the chip and run shot, we just get a little bit more upright. We just let the loft of the club do the work there, playing this shot. So let's have a look at this third and final shot that you need to get around any golf course. Okay, so this third and final shot is that lob shot, the lofted one that's going to spend the majority of its time up in the air and then very little time on the ground. So here now, if you see this, I've only got from the flag 1, 2, 3, 4 paces. It's running down away from me, and then there's this slope that I've got to come up here. So if I were to select a shot like I was pitching, if it gets onto the down slope, it's generally not going to be easy to stop. I can't chip and run it because here the embankment is too steep. So if I were to hit a chip and run into it, it would kill it automatically and it'd be a risky shot for me. So what I want to try and do, and this is probably the high caliber shot, the one that we see on the TV that always looks fantastic, but it is a little bit tough to pull off. We're going to select our most lofted club. So like I say, I've got my lob wedge out here, and then I'm trying to take out the whole slope. I'm trying to land this ball up on top of the green here. So I'm going to land it maybe 1, 2 paces round here somewhere, and then it'll just feed out to the hole. It's something where now what I'm going to do a little bit more here, I've still got to commit to keeping my weight left. I don't need to help it up. Again, I've got that loft of the club to do the job for me. I've got to just maybe nudge the ball a little bit further forwards in my stance to see that I'm applying a bit more loft to it. It's always going to help me get spin as well. And what I want to do is just see that I pop it up into the air again, pick my spot I want to land it to, and then try and get it close. Like I say, it is high caliber, so if it doesn't quite come off every time, don't be too hard on yourself. So nice and smooth, pick your spot. And I was just a tiny bit too cute there, so it fell a little bit short. I'm just going to play one more for you guys. Let's see if we can be it. And you're probably better off, unlike me though, I was trying to be too cute and land it and get the perfect shot. In these situations, even if you go a little bit by the pin, it's better than doing what I've done there and just leave it a little bit short. So if you gave yourself sort of a 10-foot window you want to hit it past, that's completely fine. So good setup, let the loft of the club do the job. Always better second time around. That is what we like. So if only you got 2 chances on the golf course, that would be amazing. So 3 shots there that you need to help you play any golf course in the world. We've got a chip and run, we've got a little pitch shot, and we've also got that high lofted shot. Get practicing all those. If you've got them in the locker, you will see that you are not dropping anywhere near as many shots, and you'll really be seeing those scores tumble down, guys. Guys, a big thank you to Lacala for letting me come and film here. It's their 30th anniversary, so go and check out their YouTube channel where I've done a series of videos with them to help you improve your game. Also, do remember, like I said earlier, to hit the subscription button so you don't miss out on any of my future lessons. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon with another video.